Loneliness by Fanny Howell has like the theme of like loneliness is portrayed as inevitable and deeply personal, and she talks about how like being lonely or solitude is actually a companion and it stays with you. Like it's something that you can't get rid of, you can't escape. And it's something she like correlates it with being like spiritual and emotional. And she's not just talking about being alone physically, she's talking about feeling apart from the world. And the tone that she has is like quiet, reflective, sad, melancholic. But then at the end, she's almost like acceptive of the fact that she can't get rid of the loneliness and that you just have to like, deal with it in your own way. And the imagery and language, she uses very abstract and reflective language, and she focuses on her inner feelings and she emphasizes the stillness and weight of being alone. And then the wanderer.
The theme of loneliness and grief in The Wanderer is that it comes from loss. So um, the the narrator in the poem, he lost his men, his fighters, and so he just was stuck in that mindset that he wouldn't move on because he was really close with a lot of his men, and he lost them, unfortunately.
Yeah, isn't it that like the Anglo-Saxons were very like war oriented and stuff? Yeah.
It also, like I said before, like it's connected to the physical isolation because he was alone by himself in the middle of nowhere, and also emotional pain. The tone is heavy and mournful, which ties into how lonely he was feeling after, I think, the men were murdered, which also it has a deep sense of exile and displacement, and the narrator reacts by showing pain and longing, which is very clear throughout what he says throughout the poem, and it shows how loneliness is a wound that doesn't heal sometimes, and with this conflict, he seeks wisdom and faith to cope with his suffering, and they use natural imagery to reflect emotional isolation, specifically in this poem, The Wanderer, which is icy seas and cold weather.
And then, you only have like, oh no, it's about to be 3 minutes. Okay, so some comparisons that I think in comparison and what's it called? Contrast. Loneliness is very like existential. It's part of human nature. The Wanderer talks about like exile and death and the loss of community. So they're both feeling loneliness in different ways. Their tones are different and their response is different because in Fanny, she's accepting and she's reflecting, but in The Wanderer, he's mourning, remembering, seeking meaning, trying to find like where his place is in life because he's all lonely. And loneliness is depicted in both poems differently. It's an internal and a personal state, and then a result of external events because he lost his troop or whatever. And the imageries are different too. One of them is abstract, and then the other one is concrete.